Welcome to Your In Depth, where we walk through and break down our favorite fictional universes. Today we're covering the Clone Wars, Season 3, Episodes 12 through 14. I am Jacob, joined here by Evan.
Hello.
And we if you're new with us, the kind of summary idea of our format, we do a summary, but I'm kind of getting jumbled up. What to expect from this episode? We will have a summary of the content that we are covering. We'll have a short little ad break, which is totally real.
Totally 100% legit.
Yeah, just not something.
Yeah, totally. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I totally didn't make it up. We're getting paid for it. And then we will get into just some bullet point kind of things that we've taken notes on as we have watched the episodes and, just talk about the episodes. So, yeah. Evan, do you have anything to share, to talk about before we get started?
I don't think so. Is there something I'm missing?
No, I just thought I'd open it up in the case that you have something. No. Do you want to confess to anything? I don't know.
I don't think I have anything to confess to.
Okay. Anyways,
our summary for the episode.
Yeah, Evan's doing this one.
So the arc begins with Asajj Ventress fighting alongside the Separatists in a space battle against Republic forces. When Darth Sidious decides she has become too powerful, he orders Count Dooku to eliminate her.
Oh, yeah. Never mind. Go for it.
And Dooku betrays Ventress mid-battle, ordering one of his own ships to fire upon the ship that she has crashed in after a dogfight with Anakin and Obi-Wan. Surviving the explosion of the ship, she survives, obviously, returning to her home world of Dathomir, where we are introduced to Mother Talzin, who helps her seek revenge. After a failed assassination attempt on Dooku, via Mother Talzin using some of their weird Dathomir witch powers on Ventress and two others to turn them invisible and kind of try and trick Dooku into thinking that they are Jedi trying to assassinate him, and they use some poison to dull his senses, things like that. They shift strategies because it fails. At which point, Dooku, having just survived this assassination attempt, comes to Mother Talzin asking for a new assassin. At which point, the Nightsisters provide. We are introduced to a character going by the name Savage Opress, a powerful Zabrak warrior who they enhance through dark magic. As part of his transformation, Savage kills his own brother and becomes Dooku's new apprentice. Savage proves devastatingly strong, massacring a Jedi outpost and drawing the attention of Obi-Wan Kenobi, who notices Savage's resemblance to Darth Maul.
Right, same race.
Yeah. But Dooku's brutal training pushes Savage too far. After a failed mission and humiliation, Ventress returns and joins Savage in attacking Dooku on his own ship. The confrontation collapses into chaos, and Savage ultimately turns on both of them. Wounded and unstable, he flees back to Dathomir. The arc ends with Mother Talzin sending Savage to find his long-exiled brother, Darth Maul, and with Asajj Ventress rejoining the Nightsisters in full, kind of a return home, rejoin the clan type of dealio.
Yeah. So that was, we'll get into our discussion on it, but obviously there was some interesting points of this episode, and one huge one if you were a first-time viewer of it. So we'll talk about that. But before we do, if you don't recall, we got a glimpse of where Count Dooku sleeps. But
boy.
anyway, I just remember that. So we have an ad. This episode is brought to you by Sereno God Mattresses. Are you an overly large individual? Are you too tall? Too fat? Or are you just rolling out of bed nonstop? Well, then get the only mattress that earthly ruler names can't apply to. Transform your sleep and your living space, by taking up an extra room, and order yourself a Sereno God mattress.
Yeah, just that massive bed.
Dude, it is huge.
I completely forgot. I never paid attention to the bed, but bring that up. Yeah, that thing was humongous. I can just picture it now. Mm-hmm. You could fit 12 people on that thing comfortably.
Yes. So, anyway, thanks to the sponsorship there. Hey, get yourself a mattress, and take up an entire room.
Yeah.
Jump on it. I don't know. So, anyway. The first thing that I had commented on is that the whole dynamic with Sith it continues to be okay, so
I find it funny that this is your first point, because this whole episode this whole arc is a result of what I think you're about to say.
Yeah. I don't get their dumb, endless cycle of trying to overthrow their master, because as Evan said in the summary, Palpatine's basically like, hey, Dooku, your apprentice, who I know you have, has gotten a little too powerful, and I think you two are trying to overthrow me, so get rid of her, because, it's only us, man. And it's just okay, yeah, I kind of get that. But, if it's constantly a cycle of Sith getting apprentices or
apprentice,
whatever. Yeah, apprentice. Yeah, whatever. Yeah. They keep getting apprentices who they know are going to get apprentices and try to overthrow them. Yep. What is the point of continuing? Wouldn't you think they're all just kind of out, on their own, out for themselves? Why would you, if there's constantly that going on?
If you go back far enough in Star Wars, right, I can understand why they switched to this whole Rule of Two thing that they do, right? Because if you go back far enough before the Rule of Two, there's dozens, if not hundreds, of Sith, whether it be Sith Master, I don't know, Sith Knight, Sith Apprentice, what have you, right? And they're just constantly warring with each other, and they never grow any more powerful because they keep killing each other. And so it's yeah, at some point something's got to change, so let's do this whole Rule of Two thing. We can consolidate power, and press forward. But at this point, you can read through all the different novelizations and comics and everything that you want. At this point in their whole Rule of Two thing, it's y'all be killing your masters before they've taught you everything they know, so you're still losing power. And at the same time, they're never going to teach you everything they know, because then they don't have anything to hold over you so that way you don't kill them. At what point do you now need to make another change to how you're doing this whole Sith thing?
Yeah. But also, it raised the thought, was that... So it's Sith always have apprentices. I mean, I think, it's just constantly they're going to overthrow their master, and then they're going to be the best one. Was that, obviously now, I hope that it ends up becoming canon, but it's not at this point with Starkiller. Was that the kind of thought with it? Was Vader was I need an apprentice to overthrow this guy?
Yeah, with the Force Unleashed games.
Yes.
Yeah, that was very much the thing, and I think even canonically, because the Force Unleashed games are not canon, I don't know if they ever technically were, but regardless, even canonically, Darth Vader has had apprentices.
Didn't you kill Obi-Wan in some of them?
Yeah, there was some weird stuff, and especially in the second game.
Yeah, so no.
The second game had some like alternate ending stuff where you killed like Han Solo and Chewbacca and Leia and Luke, and yeah, it was. But no, canonically speaking, though, Darth Vader has had a couple different apprentices that when Palpatine learns about them, he's like, take them out. I see what you're trying to do. Kill him. Oh, you don't want to kill that one? Zap lightning. All right, now go kill him before I kill you.
Yeah. So,
but yeah, Starkiller very much was within those games. That was the purpose.
Gotcha. All that I think about in those games was, I think it was the second one where you're on Kashyyyk, and maybe it's the first one. I don't know.
I think it's the opening of the first one. You're on Kashyyyk. I don't remember if you ever go back or not.
Maybe it is.
Forever since I played those games.
Same, and that's why I don't recall. But
no.
I just remember picking up freaking Wookiees and just launching them off of their platforms and just sending them into freaking space, basically.
Yeah.
I loved that game.
But you know, the whole rule of two thing that, like you were saying, is like, at what point is it too much of a hassle to continue this? That whole thing is just what causes this whole arc to happen. Because up until this point, Dooku refers to Ventress as his assassin, and we hear like General Grievous call her assassin in prior episodes. What is that?
The library in town put out some crafts, and this is a little gnome.
Oh, goodness.
Hold on, see? So we made him a little hat, and he's got a beard and a little nose.
Interesting. Anyways, any Hoosers. No, Asajj Ventress has been referred to countless times as like an assassin, right, for Count Dooku. But of course, like we, the viewer, and obviously Palpatine know otherwise, that she's like a proper Sith apprentice to Count Dooku. And my thing with this is, yeah, Ventress is getting more powerful, but I'm still not convinced that her and Dooku together would be enough to stop Palpatine. Even at this point, like not even close.
No.
Because like all you have to do is go look at episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. Dude 1v4s and almost wins against 4 Jedi Masters. It's just like, yeah, Ventress is strong. She's holding her own against Anakin and Obi-Wan. But is she really going to be enough for her and Dooku to count up to 4 Jedi Masters together against Palpatine? I don't think so.
No.
And so I think it's kind of I guess also on Palpatine's side of it, it's like, yeah, do this do this before she reaches a level of power to properly challenge him. So like, get her out of there early, I guess. But like, has she really reached the point where he starts to potentially maybe consider her a threat? I'm not necessarily convinced.
Do you think it's that, or do you think he's just kind of grown impatient, being like, okay, I know this is going on. I'm tired of this crap. Get out of here.
That very well could be it. Or maybe he was sitting there like, man, I was expecting her to die in like the first 2 months of the war. What is she still doing here?
Yeah. I did. So regarding Ventress, well, there's a couple of things that happened beforehand that I'll comment on, just because when Obi-Wan, so they crash land on this one ship, and that's after or around where Dooku's like, nah, you failed me.
Yeah.
Eat or suck eggs, nerd. Like, he's. But when Obi-Wan and Anakin meet her again, Obi-Wan goes, Ventress, you're not looking well. And Anakin like turns to him. He's like, when? Like, she never does, dude.
Like, when did she?
Yeah, I think he literally says she never does.
Yeah.
But anyway, and then, yeah, Dooku goes through with that instruction of, but he also goes through a lot of effort to kill her. Like, with the amount of resources he pours on just like, get rid of that ship.
Yeah. Yeah. At this point, it's like, Dooku is no longer concerned about the battle, right? Like, Master gave me an order. This battle can take the back seat. I gotta get this thing done now.
Right. But in that, we did get to see a bit of, I mean, as she like goes and ends up meeting up with the Nightsisters, we do get to see a little bit of her backstory.
Yeah.
Which is very interesting, and also cringy how she screamed as a child. I hated the voice, but
yeah, because she arrives on Dathomir wounded, and they do like this weird, Night Sister magic to kind of like heal her.
Right, and you kind of get this backstory to her where she obviously is originally from Dathomir. I believe what I pieced together from this is that she was pulled by the Jedi, or
that's what I understood it as.
Yeah, somehow she was pulled from the planet and taken by somebody, and then that person was killed, and another Jedi found her, or a Jedi found her, and then pulled her in and trained her, and then that dude got killed, and her kind of rage, it seems, kind of led her down the path to eventually becoming more of a Sith.
Which, truly, I find this backstory for her fairly interesting.
Seems pretty common, honestly.
Well,
interesting, but I'm saying, like, we've seen it, similar things before.
Yeah.
Where the Jedi either fail or,
Well, and there's kind of a mirror to this as well with Obi-Wan, except they go different paths. Because, like, Obi-Wan loses his master to Darth Maul, but instead of, like, giving into the anger, the hate, all that kind of stuff, and, like, turning bad, he holds true to the Jedi ideals and pushes forward. Because from the flashbacks we got, I kind of, like, thinking about it now, I would guess she's probably about the age of Obi-Wan, that Obi-Wan was when Qui-Gon Jinn was killed. When Qui-Gon Jinn died and when Ventress's master died, I figured that would have been about the same age for the two of them.
Yeah.
Like late teens, maybe early 20s, right? Was kind of the impression I got.
That's what I'm getting from it, yeah.
Yeah, so there's kind of a mirror there between Obi-Wan and Ventress, but taking different paths at the end of it. Excuse me. But I found it interesting, too, though, because the way that Count Dooku talks about Ventress when he goes to Dathomir to get his new apprentice, and I'll just say this just a little bit, and then we can get into it more a little later, I guess, or we can delve into it now, whatever. I kind of had the impression that if you take this little backstory scene out for Ventress, Dooku kind of talks about getting her as an apprentice the same way he got Savage Opress. Like, he went to Dathomir, was like, hey, I need an apprentice, and they gave him Ventress.
Bring me your finest tribesmen. I wish to be their master.
Yeah, that's like the impression I got, and that's kind of how Dooku comes across, but based off of this flashback, that's not the case.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that is kind of... Yeah. But speaking of Savage, when he is taken and transformed by that voodoo bullcrap, I am pretty sure that I hear a muffled Wilhelm scream. I'm almost certain in that scene. Yeah.
I think it's in every Star Wars movie. There's at least one Wilhelm scream in each Star Wars movie.
I believe there is, but this I'm wondering how often it's used throughout the Clone Wars, because it's definitely been used a few times. So I wonder if there's like a once a season sort of deal.
I'm gonna do a quick little Google search and see if I can't find an answer.
Okay.
How many Wilhelm screams are there in Wars the Clone Wars? The Wilhelm scream is featured in at least 7 episodes of Star Wars The Clone Wars.
7 seasons.
Does it give which episodes?
Technically 8. Well, but season 7 kind of, I don't know.
Yeah. It just gives 3 instances.
Okay.
One is in the Zillo Beast episode called the Zillo Beast, when a trooper named Hawkeye is struck. They're in episode titled Death Trap. Multiple clones are thrown into space. And then in the episode Monster, heard during ambient noise in a transformation scene.
That one.
It lists those 3, but it doesn't say
episode.
which. It doesn't say the other 4.
No, Monster. That one is this scene.
Yeah,
I was correct.
That's funny.
Okay.
There's also in the 2D Star Wars Clone Wars animation, the one that came out before the Clone Wars cartoon that we're talking about. There's the Wilhelm scream in chapters 4, 12, and 17 for anybody that's seen that that whole short or like mini series, whatever you want to call it.
Wait, in what again?
The 2D Star Wars Clone Wars.
Oh yeah.
Was from 2003 to 2005 series. There's 3 more of them in that one as well. Star Wars loves their Wilhelm screams.
Yes, they do.
And my mind always goes back to A New Hope with the Stormtrooper. that's the one that always immediately pops into my mind whenever I hear the Wilhelm scream.
Yeah.
But with Asajj Ventress, the Wilhelm scream occurs as she's kind of like getting fixed up and whatnot. Or was it with Savage that you were talking about?
It was with Savage.
Savage, okay. I wanted to go back to Ventress, though, real quick, because to you, my question would be, with Ventress, does this change, in your opinion, does this change Ventress in your eyes from with now this like backstory given to her that we now know? Does this kind of like change your view on her? Does she seem more like tragic victim, or is she still like evil?
No, I still don't like her, but I do like there's like an added depth. And you know what, I will say, okay, I like what they're doing with Ventress at this point. I'll say that. The background of it, I don't think changed that, but the idea of like turned against, betrayed apprentice, and seeing her move forward, that's the part I'm starting to like with her character. And I do end up liking a bit of what she like, but the early Clone Wars where she's like this, like she freaking pulls the one dude after stabbing him and kisses him like, I'm being seductively violent. It's like, no, you're not. You're nasty.
You're being gross.
Yeah, and so moving away from that, getting a bit more depth and adding some more to her character, and in this sort of like betrayed by her master, trying to seek revenge and then seeing where she goes. I do like her character.
Yeah. Well, and I find it interesting too, with this kind of backstory given to us. She loses her master, and at that point she has to, because she loses her master at a very like vulnerable age, right? Where she probably can't fully properly process and understand everything, and obviously move forward in a healthy way because she falls to the dark side and turns evil, right? But, you know, with that, she is now again being abandoned by her master. And in this case, literally being betrayed. Whereas in like that flashback, a young, you know, maybe late teens might view it as like I don't know necessarily betrayed, but like abandoned, left alone, whatever other words you want to throw in there. But it's kind of like there's I see almost like a symbolism here, or maybe like a repetition, maybe not symbolism, but like a repetition here of, you know, she gets a master, she gets someone that looks out for her, they start training her, you know, they impart their wisdom upon her, and then she's abandoned, either the master being killed, or in this case, their master betraying her. It kind of, the repetition there intrigues me, and I know we have more content with Ventress in it, but I'd be curious to know how many more instances of that there is, because I've never really looked for it while watching the Clone Wars or anything else that she's been in thus far. Mm-hmm. Of like someone kind of stepping in as a mentor figure, imparting knowledge, and then either being ripped away from her or choosing to abandon her in some way. I'd be curious to know if there's more repetitions of that, and I think that's something I'm going to try and look for in the future. Might be able to kind of point it out and as kind of refer back to this video if it does occur more. My next thing that I kind of wanted to get into was the assassination attempt on Count Dooku with Ventress. That whole scene, that whole fight is incredibly cool, but it just shows you the terrifying skill that Count Dooku has.
Oh, yeah.
Right, because he is poisoned. He is blinded and weakened from the poison. And he is holding his own against 3 trained warriors, one of which he trained himself.
Yeah.
While they're invisible.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's just like, dear Lord, like, bro, you take that poison out of there, all 3 of them are dead in a matter of a minute, like 2 minutes. Like, if he's not poisoned, it doesn't matter that they're invisible. If he's not poisoned, they're dead in 2 minutes, tops.
Yeah. Yeah.
And because Mother Talzin even says the 2 like Nightsisters that go with Ventress are the Nightsisters' best warriors. Mm-hmm. Like, that's the best the Nightsisters have. And Count Dooku, like, there's a couple points where it's like, ooh, that was close. Dooku almost got taken out. But only like 2 or maybe 3 times throughout the whole fight does it get close like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, even blinded. What?
No,
What?
no, go ahead. It's just
Even blinded, he is essentially that shredder in Stella earlier.
Yeah. Just taking everybody out.
Dude,
by
that
itself.
was such bull crap. Okay, listen, to the viewer, to the listener. This is crap. Okay, if you've played any sort of Arc Raiders, earlier Evan and I were playing with one of our buddies, Derek, and We spawn in, and there is a shredder right next to us. And so then we take a bunch of damage and we just jump
as
down.
we spawn, it's in between all three of us.
Yes. Like, it's like we spawn right on top of it. And so immediately I'm like, oh, and I just dive off of this ledge and grab a zip line and go down, or whatever, and take damage. We go down to the thing below, and there's like 3 of them in this room. Yeah. And dude, we cannot escape this. We had such just a horrible spawn.
Mm-hmm.
And then on top of that, we made it out.
Somehow.
Luckily. We made it out with like a minute to spare because of a raider hatch. But either way, that's basically even
Ventress and these 2
Dooku
Nightsisters
shreds.
Are us. Ventress and the 2 Nightsisters are us. Dooku is the 20 bajillion shredders that surrounded us.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, not only do we see Count Dooku's lightsaber skill at like peak performance here, right? But his force ability, that's not necessarily like commented on too much, is in full display here as well. Because like he's fighting purely off of like sensing them through the force and what they're trying and what their next move is.
Mm-hmm.
And it's scenes like this with Count Dooku on full display with his power, where I sit there, I'm like, are you sure he can't just like 1v1 Palpatine?
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Or I'll think back in like all the way back in Attack of the Clones. If Obi-Wan would have just listened to Count Dooku when Obi-Wan was a prisoner on Geonosis, like Obi-Wan and Count Dooku just, are you sure the 2 of them, shoot, bring Anakin along as well, he's the chosen one. Are you sure the 3 of them just can't just like wipe the floor with Palpatine at that point?
Oh, I think they probably could.
Yeah.
But there was a meme I saw, and I still don't understand why it didn't go this way. But it was like an animation, and Anakin had Dooku's head between the sabers, and he's just like
stuff.
Yeah, and he's just like, looking at him, and Palpatine's like, do it. And Dooku's just like, wait, hold on. He's the Sith Lord. What are we doing here? And just like immediately like outs him. And it's just like, why at that moment he didn't say anything, but
yeah, and man,
anyway, that's a whole separate thing.
Yeah, that's a whole separate thing, and I think when we have, because there's some arcs that get more focused on Count Dooku, where we can really delve into his character a lot more, because there's a lot.
The Tales of the Jedi one.
Yeah, especially that
was a good one.
Arc. Yeah,
I really freaking liked that.
We can delve into his character and talk about more, because there's a lot to get into when it comes to Count Dooku. Mm-hmm. But again, just like scenes like this I'm just sitting there as like, are you sure he can't just like take out Palpatine real quick, just like bzz, off with his head or something? Like, come on, you were so eager to like oust him in Attack of the Clones. What happened to that?
Yeah. I cannot figure out why the heck YouTube keeps freaking privating our RSS feed. This is so stupid. It's not public. Our most recent one that I posted, whatever. Sorry, I just pulled up YouTube.
But with that, we do get Dooku heading off to, as in the recap, off to Dathomir to speak with Mother Talzin after this failed assassination attempt on his life, to get a new assassin now that, as far as he's concerned, Ventress is dead, right? As far as I'm aware at this point, Dooku believes Ventress died on that ship explosion.
Yeah.
And when he comes to Dathomir, that's kind of where Ventress and Mother Talzin hatch their new plan. Is like, oh, we'll go grab one of the male species on the planet, and we'll train him up, and he'll be our little secret agent, our little 007. And we'll use him to get revenge on Count Dooku.
Mm-hmm.
And the male species on Dathomir, as I think it was briefly mentioned in the recap, are the Zabraks, which, as I said, is the race of Darth Maul.
Mm-hmm.
And with this episode, it is basically stated that Darth Maul is originally from Dathomir, and Palpatine came here and got him for an apprentice, and all that good stuff. But the trials that Ventress puts these Zabrak males through to find the one that they want.
Mm-hmm.
One of the trials is just all of them fighting her.
Yeah.
Like, what does that prove?
See which ones put forth the most effort. I don't know.
Right, but if your goal is to take down Count Dooku, and we already know Ventress and 2 trained warriors cannot take out Count Dooku, what is the point of fighting all of these other people as a trial? Like, you're going to beat all of them. We already know this. What does that add?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. It's that one never really made sense to me, that trial. Because it's like, based off of that trial, the last one standing, gets a little higher up on the prospects list. Well, okay, I'm just going to stay back here while the rest of them attack you, and now I'm the last one standing. I didn't really prove anything. Yeah. And then you have the kind of like a fear trial, essentially, where they like get rid of all the lights and it's like darkness. And again, Ventress is just like picking them off one by one, and like this one I can see where it's like, who can keep control, like who can keep calm under the pressure, who can keep calm while terrified, hearing the scream out in the darkness, but you can't see what's happening. Like, I can understand that one. It's like to get a sense of their nerve, see who's going to break. So, like, that one I understand. But then there's the third trial, where the only 2 remaining is Savage and his brother Farrell. Real original names, by the way. Savage and Farrell. Where they've got like all these platforms rising and lowering, and they have to like move through this quote unquote maze, and it's just like, see who can live the longest.
Yeah.
And again, I can kind of understand this one. It's it's a trial of endurance, who can keep going even with the odds against them, that sort of thing. But I don't know if these 3 trials are really enough to prove who should be the assassin when dealing with someone like Count Dooku.
Well, does it work?
No.
Then there you go. As we see Savage, though, after he's been kind of trained a little bit, firstly, we see some Commando clones, which is pretty cool to see. I always love that.
Just real quick.
Yeah.
we did have another similar thing with Savage getting like pumped full of the Night Sister magic.
Fent.
Yeah, like they did with Ventress, but
Yeah.
it kind of seemed like in the reverse. Dude got jacked. Dude got swole in the matter of like minutes.
Swole. Yes, he did.
Which then leads to this, which you were about to refer to with the Clone Commandos.
Yeah. Also, side note, I did not mention it, and usually I'm like right on, like I'm going to comment on any voice actor that's cool. Savage is the same as who else has he played in Star Wars? It's freaking Mr. Krabs, but like, isn't it Clancy? It's Clancy Brown, because he played some live action ones in Mandalorian, and then he played that one governor from Rebels. There's been a few other ones.
Let's see. He appears in the 1980s Dukes of Hazzard.
I'm talking like Star Wars.
Yeah, I'm trying to find Star Wars specific. Just kind of got a list of stuff here. He's in Mortal Kombat, SpongeBob. He's in SpongeBob.
Yeah, he is.
Avatar: The Last Airbender, the animated TV show.
Wait, who's he playing that?
Oh gosh. Let's see.
Quick side note, Evan, is that ever something you maybe want to cover on this podcast?
I'd be interested in covering it. I enjoy
Last Airbender. Is there much to... Is that like a pretty established world, or is that like... Would we just be talking about the show?
There's like a whole list of like the avatars up to Aang and even a couple past Aang. And there's some events surrounding a couple of the different avatars. So there's not like a full-blown fleshed out from the beginning to the Legends of Korra TV show. But there's a decent amount of like lore content out there.
Okay.
Excuse me. So a list of Star Wars characters that Clancy Brown voices. In the 2002 Star Wars Bounty Hunter game, he voices Montrose. I don't know who that is. I had never actually played that game. And then, of course, Savage Opress, as we talked about. He also does the voice of a generic Knight Brother number 3 in this episode. In the episode Revenge, which is in Star Wars Clone Wars, he does against Savage Opress. Excuse me. And generic human bounty hunter. And then there's Mandalorian Super Commando. There's a whole list of them. In Star Wars Rebels, he does Ryder Azadi. He does an Imperial officer, a stormtrooper, a factory worker, a stormtrooper commander, a rebel pilot. I don't remember who that is, but their name's Proach. I don't remember who that is in Rebels. In The Mandalorian, he does the voice of Berg.
He was Berg.
Yeah. Does the voice was Berg. Yeah, that would make sense, wouldn't it, Evan? Psh, smack. In Tales of the Jedi, he does the voice of the 11th brother.
Oh.
And then in Star Wars Ahsoka, he is Governor, again, Ryder Azadi.
Yeah.
Got that little governor title up in front of his name now. Yeah, he's done quite a bit of voice acting and live action acting for Star Wars.
Yep.
I like him. I think he's a really good actor. I really enjoyed his... I don't know if you ever saw Starship Troopers.
Yes.
Yeah, he was in Starship Troopers as like the drill sergeant. I thought he was hilarious in that movie.
Well, anyway, though, so in that scene, we see Commando clones, but they or somebody in that around that comments that the wreckage that is left is the work of a reckless animal. So you see where monster kind of comes into play.
Yeah.
Episode title. Well, actually, this I think is in the final episode, but
I thought it was really cool too that they used Delta Squad. The Commandos were Delta Squad from the Clone Commando game. I thought that was really cool that we got because I think at this point until this episode came out, that was not like a canon Commando Squad because I think Clone Commandos was not canon when it came out, or it was decanonized from Disney or whatever it was, right? But I do like that they put them in there in this one little scene to make that just to make sure that Delta Squad is canonically within Star Wars.
heck yeah.
There you go. Star Wars Republic Commandos.
Yeah, I thought I had that game. I still got the DVD. I wonder if I have it on on Steam. That'd be ideal if I did.
I have it on either Steam or like on Xbox because I think they released
like
the original Xbox version of it on the Series X.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like that they included them in there.
Yeah. That was one that I was always freaking always interested in. When I was little, I would go over to my grandparents' house and I would just sit at their computer and I would play Star Wars Battlefront 2. Mm-hmm. I had a notebook full of my battles. I would keep track of my stats and how well I did so that I could know if I did better than I've ever done before. I was really interested in it. Well, I ended up getting... So actually, crazy thing here.
For the listener, he's got a whole bunch of games in the background, and he's pulling out Star Wars games.
Yep. This is the exact copy that I played when I was 10, 12 years old. Do you remember this? Did you get this one?
Not on computer. But I played the crap out of it on like the PlayStation 2.
What I remember about this is you open it up and it's one of those that has so many install discs.
5 install discs.
Dude.
Or 4 install one. Yeah.
I have all of them still. That's crazy. I didn't really think about it. Well, anyway, all that to say. So, yeah, this Star Wars game. And then eventually I got that one over there that I just pulled out. And it was like a pack of 3. And I would play the heck out of Battlefront. And I'm like, another Star Wars game. I'm so excited to play Republic Commandos. And my computer would never load it.
Ooh.
So I never got to play that one, but it always looked cool. I saw some gameplay. Yeah. Never got to play it.
That reminds me, not to go too far because it's not Star Wars related, but when I was younger, like I don't know, grade school, right? We had like the communal desktop at the house, right? Yeah. And there was always like these one or two. There's always these like 1 or 2 strategy games that I always wanted to play, and I'd always try and like play them. And either the computer would not load them up, or it would load it up, but it was super laggy and glitchy, and like the pixels wouldn't render properly, so everything was just horribly pixelated, and you couldn't really see what was going on. That's just what that reminds me of.
Dude, I had a couple games like that. I remember, so like I said, I played 2 a lot. And I remember coming over to your house and playing Battlefront 1 and being so like just, this is so freaking cool. Because like I had played a bunch of 2. I liked it, but it was like, it was very similar enough. And it was just like a new like version of it. And I was so excited to play it. And I have this weird like distinct, you ever have like this memory and then you have like the things that you're smelling and the taste of like the just anything, whatever sensory associated with it. That's like a vivid memory in my brain. And that was at the house you burnt down.
Oh, lovely. Lovely. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. I also remember that because in your room, you were getting ready to remodel it. And so you're like, yeah, it doesn't matter if we destroy stuff. So we were whipping marbles through the drywall.
That sounds like something little Evan would have said. That sounds about right.
Dude, we were freaking pelting it.
Oh gosh. Anyway, Star Wars. I
kind of remember some of that house, and I think the primary thing that reminds me that like I think of though was like hanging out in your room playing a little bit of Halo, but I didn't really get too much into that, and playing Battlefront 1.
Yeah.
Anyway, just thinking of stuff.
But anyways, Star Wars, Delta Squad, Savage Opress being a monster.
Right. And so, they refer to him as a reckless animal.
Yeah.
And it's very reminiscent of what they end up like. He is a monster because he's very reckless.
Mm-hmm.
He just tears stuff apart. We even see it in his handling of King Katunko, who freaking gets wrecked in this. Like
for people that are a little confused, think back to the very first episode of Star Wars: The Clone Wars with Yoda and the three clones.
Last episode that we covered when Katunko is like the whole neutrality and peace thing where he's like,
well, King Katunko's story ends in this arc because he is brutally killed.
Yeah, but the thing is, he pulls him down and knocks him out, and then starts fighting Obi-Wan and Anakin. Yeah. And when Katunko, who, by the way, he was tasked with bringing in alive, starts flying away, he just snaps his neck and is like, I'll bring him in dead then, and he takes off running. And it's like, he's so reckless.
Yeah, there's no finesse.
But like brutally, but also brutally like forceful with stuff.
Yeah.
That, he destroys things in his path, and then he thoroughly gets punished by Dooku.
Yeah.
Because
Savage, at least at this point, there is no finesse. It is all brute strength. And in some instances like this, where he kills King Katunko, it's just kind of like angry, like lashing out, like just
almost,
pure strength lash out. This dude is. I'm not convinced all of the carnage he is doing is intentional. Like, I would wager that probably half of the carnage that is left in his wake is just unintentional thrashing about, brute strength through someone or something, and happens to destroy something over there.
Yeah. But like I said, he gets thoroughly punished by Dooku, and Dooku, like in his anger at him, calls him an ignorant beast. And it's like, yeah, kind of.
Well, and this just reminds me of, I can't remember the exact saying, but it's something along the lines of like, once you take the collar off a feral dog, it's hard to get the collar back on. I think it's like, once you take the collar off of a feral dog, you can't just put it back on, or like something in that vein. And like, Savage and Ventress are very different creatures, people. I don't want to call them human because they're not human. They're another, whatever. But like, they're very different, and I have to imagine Dooku's approaching Savage in the same way that he approached Ventress when she would fail. And that's clearly not the way to approach Savage, because you're just going to make him more and more angry at you.
Yeah.
Like Because especially after like the Nightsisters magic, because like when they like juice him up with steroids and stuff, they just have him kill his brother and he doesn't flinch. Like he's just a mindless, truthfully at this point, like a mindless animal. You know, and it's like if you take a dog and you just beat the crap out of the dog, and then it bites your hand, are you really that surprised that it bit your hand? You know, that's essentially what Savage is at this point. And so it's like when we get to the point where he's supposed to betray Dooku and help Ventress kill Dooku, it's not that much of a... Like, even if we didn't know about the whole brainwashing part of it, it wouldn't be that hard to be convinced that he's just mad at Dooku for, like, torturing him at every turn. You know...
Yeah. I also, so he ends up, turning on Dooku. And because Ventress shows up and it's just basically like, oh, remember who you actually serve? Me. And then they team up and it works.
Dooku gets killed right here.
Yeah. No, it doesn't freaking work. No. Savage, rather, lashes out, throws both of them, and takes off.
Yeah, because... during the fight, Ventress keeps berating him. Right? Like she keeps calling him, like, whether it be stupid or an animal or like quit being a failure, like just nonstop berating him, and then she's surprised when he turns on her as well. Yeah. And it's like, Ventress, you were trained by Count Dooku. You know how he trains apprentices.
Yeah,
you really think this is going to work? Like, as far as we know, Ventress is Dooku's first, like, Sith apprentice, right?
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, Dooku hasn't even had enough Sith apprentices to find the way that works. You know, because, like, he has to just be doing what Palpatine or what Darth Sidious did to him. Because, you know, that's just how, like, the whole master apprentice thing works, whether it's the Jedi, the Sith, you know, I don't know, electricians in the real world, you know, whoever. You learn from your master, and then you take those techniques and you use those on your apprentices when you get your own apprentices. You know, and so it's like, Ventress, you know how he would have trained Savage. You also know that Savage is an animal. Like, there's no way you're not keeping tabs on him. At what point did you think berating him in that way is going to make him do better and not just betray you as well?
Right.
But at the same time, Ventress is just going off of how she was treated by Dooku. And, you know, it's just like that vicious cycle. Like, she doesn't know how to motivate someone to help her get her goals. Like, she doesn't know how to do that either.
Right.
Which just kind of goes back into the whole Rule of Two thing with the Sith. It's like, no wonder you guys had to stay in the shadows for thousands of years, because y'all don't know what you're doing.
Yeah. I do think one of my notes here, first off, Mother Talzin has a Palantir. I think
she's actually the Dark Lord. She is Sauron.
She is Sauron. So I do think that 90% of attacks in Star Wars probably could be effective if they didn't, like, the person attacking didn't just shout ignorant foghorn noises before they attack. Because I don't know, if somebody's charging you going, it's like, wouldn't you like be like, oh, hey, something's coming, let me step out of the way?
Yeah. Well, because when you look at Dooku fight, he's never yelling or like screaming or whatever.
No, he's very composed and a good fighter.
Or if you go in, truthfully, if you look at, like, say, Obi-Wan or Mace Windu in Episode 3, in some cases, Anakin's fairly decent about it as well, but every once in a while you get, like, a yell or a shout from him, too, you know? But, like, any...
but not really in the same way, even.
Yeah. Or even if you go to The Mandalorian, like, Mando, when he's, like, going into melee combat, he's not yelling and shouting and screaming. You know, like... the people that actually get their target are the people that don't telegraph their moves. Surprise, surprise. I mean, the equivalent of this would be a hunter sitting in their deer stand, and right before they fire the bow or, release the arrow from the bow or fire the rifle, what have you, they just yell out into the woods.
Yeah.
I mean, that's about the equivalent of it.
Yeah.
But again, at the same time, Savage right now is little more than an animal. And, when like if you have a dog that's mad or a wolf or whatever, like they growl, they kind of snap, they kind of telegraph what they're going to do.
Yeah.
But then you get Ventress and she's just yelling and screaming, and I don't understand it.
Yeah. But the most noteworthy part of this is all the way at the end.
Yeah.
When Savage has retreated back to Mother Talzin, and she uses her Palantir to show that actually he's got somebody else out there still alive.
Yeah, someone that could, I think she says something along the lines of someone that can finish his training and hone his skill. Quote, yep. I'm putting air quotes around skill.
Yeah. Maul.
Yeah.
We see a glimpse of the red face and everything, and it's like, whoa, wait a minute.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Well, and the big thing to note with that too, is the Zabrak we see on Dathomir. None of them have the red, like Darth Maul. So it's, and I have to believe that was very intentional on like Dave Filoni's part, of like who we are seeing in this little Palantir vision thing. That is Maul. That is the only Zabrak we know that has the red.
Yeah,
which I think is an interesting thing. Like I said, I have to think that that's intentional, where none of the other in the village have the red. Because like Dave Filoni is really good at Star Wars. Like he's really good at making Star Wars content. So I can't believe that was just some sort of fluke or accident.
Right.
But I think that's just like a genius move. Like make him similar enough to be like same race as Darth Maul. But then when we see Darth Maul, it's like, you know who Daddy is.
Yeah. Now, here's my question to you regarding this.
Yeah.
So, when I watched this, it was like I didn't watch it as it was coming out. I watched it a few years ago, and at that point, I already knew that Maul was he was still alive and all that. Right. I think I even saw freaking like Solo. Before this, and so it's like I knew. Did you watch this when it came out, and what was your reaction when that showed up?
So I did not see this episode when it first came out, right? Like when it first aired on TV, but I saw it before we had things like, obviously before like Rebels, where hint hint Maul shows up again. For
so did you see it? Was it spoiled to you before? No,
it was not spoiled to me beforehand.
So then nonetheless, what was your reaction?
I was very split on this with a return of Darth Maul. Number one, part of me was like, this is dumb. Like, dude got cut in half, fell down a giant shaft that went, we don't even know how far down because it's pitch black, after probably 30, 40 feet. So this is just dumb. There's no way he's alive. They're just stretching here. But then the other part of me was like, they're in Revenge of the Sith, Palpatine does say that, like the dark side can lead to abilities some would deem unnatural, and like that whole line that he gives. And so it's like, I guess, if the dark side can cause unnatural ability, like force abilities and stuff to develop within dark side users. I guess I could kind of see it, and I was very split on it.
Well, I can see that too, because it's kind of like he shows up and it's like, this dude got cut in half. This does seem like a bit of a stretch. So, and at that point, you don't have the foreknowledge of like what they're going to do with it.
Right.
Because obviously what they did with it is like, holy crap, I'm so happy they didn't kill him off.
Yeah.
But at that point, it's like, I get the, really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was very split on it. Like you said, now with all the other stuff that is out and the story that they do with him and all that kind of stuff, I'm glad they did this. Because we get a lot of really cool and really good content out of it. Mm-hmm. But yeah, at the time, I didn't really know how to feel about it.
Gotcha.
At the time. It's kind of like the whole Mace Windu argument of like, well, we didn't see the body, so it was only his hand. It's kind of the same with that, where it's like the implication is the dude's dead. No, we didn't see a dead body laying there, but it's like. That was like, what, 2001, 2002-ish with Phantom Menace?
Yeah, 2001, I think.
Yeah, so like at that time, you weren't really, especially with Star Wars, you weren't really seeing, like, dead bodies galore in Star Wars, for the most part. Yeah,
this isn't Andor yet.
Right. Yeah.
Dude,
this isn't the Obi-Wan or the Kenobi series where they just get drugged through fire.
Or that, yeah.
Yeah.
Or when Vader's freaking ripping basically kids out of houses and killing them to draw out Obi-Wan.
Yeah. Yeah, no, like Phantom Menace was like super early 2000s where, they weren't showing like, for the most part, they weren't showing like brutal death scenes on TV. It was more of like dude got chopped in half and he tumbles down and you get a quick glimpse of him tumbling down and then the assumption is dude's dead.
Yeah.
But again, I am glad that they did decide to bring him back because we get a lot of cool content with him. And we do actually have a new show coming out here soon.
Yeah.
For Darth Maul. Which I am really looking forward to seeing and delving into. Because I don't know if you've seen the trailer yet for it, Jacob, but the trailer's pretty dope. The trailer's pretty dope. Because that's like... I guess that would have to be between Revenge of the Sith and Rebels. So
I'm not sure the timeline of it, but it must be.
Yeah, it would have to be between Revenge of the Sith and Rebels. But so that's another like early Empire era content and all that. So I'm pretty excited about it. Yeah. I wonder where that show is going to fall in like the chronological timeline with say like Andor and Rebels and whatnot. I wonder how that's going to line up with those.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know.
But
I'm excited nonetheless.
Yeah.
Well, what was did you have a high point?
Excuse me. I'm kind of split on the high point. Either at the beginning of the first episode of the arc, the space battle, because as I've said before, I really enjoy like the large scale engagements and stuff. And so I always enjoy seeing those. The other one, though, is that kind of splits it for me is the Delta Squad showing up in the second episode. Just having them in there, like, we don't see them fight. They have, like, I think one of them has one line in the whole little show, scene there, but just, like, seeing them on screen, I was excited about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. So I thought that was really cool seeing the Commando clones, just because they anytime there's like a different variation of clones, I'm like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
that. But if I had to choose a high, just because it kind of makes me laugh thinking about it, was Katunko just getting snapped.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know.
What about your
Low
low
point.
for the episode?
Yeah.
Or the arc, rather.
The teenage Ventress rage scream.
That's not the best. That's not the best.
What about you?
I think mine is the whole trials for
Oh yeah. Yeah.
for the Zabrak males. It's like that just bothers me because I firmly believe those trials were simply a power trip for Ventress.
Yeah, she kind of just seems to toy with them to make herself feel good.
Like she just got betrayed by her master. She was horribly wounded. She's feeling down in the dumps. She's feeling a little sad. And she needs a little pick-me-up. And what does she do for her pick-me-up? Tortures people.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that whole thing there is probably my low for the arc.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Obviously, I mean, I still think that I can agree with that being a low.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I choose yours.
Now, I will say, though, as we know Ventress at this point, that whole trials thing, like I said, I firmly believe that's just for her to get off on a power trip. Right in line with her character at this point.
That's true.
You know, like, from her perspective, if it's just there, if that's just for a power trip for her, I totally get it. Like that's right. Like, it's still messed up. That is, like, so messed up. And she needs to go, like, see therapy or something. But
That's not for Sith.
but like it's right in line with her character to do something like that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh. Ow. Well,
I will say, though, just kind of a last thought for the episode or for the arc as a whole. I feel like this arc really highlights the self-destructive nature of the Rule of Two.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because it's like when you just see the first episode, it's purely and simply like your apprentice is getting too powerful, take her out, and we'll move on. But once you get the next 2 episodes in there, it's just like you didn't verify the kill, dude. Like, Dooku, you did not verify the kill, and it almost bit you in the butt. Like it almost cost you your life.
Yeah.
You know, because, you know, you have Sidious orders Dooku to betray Ventress. Ventress is supposed to die. She doesn't die, so she wants revenge. She then hatches a plan to get revenge by putting your next apprentice in there. Your next apprentice is a spy for her, and she's going to use that to betray you because your whole Rule of Two thing just sucks.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I don't have anything else to say. It's about 11:30 at night, and I really want to play Arc Raiders, so we're going to go. Also, I don't have anything more to say, like I said. So, yeah,
No, that's just
our
kind of my
coverage
last comments, my last thoughts on the arc.
Yep. So next time, I'm not going to say next Monday because I missed last Monday. So, you know, it's kind of up in the air on when I edit. But next time we will be covering Rings of Power. That'll be episode 7 of season 2. We got 2 more of those.
Yeah.
And then the following episode that we upload will be the Clone Wars again. It will be, let's see, Oh, the Mortis arc. It'll be
And I
in
will
there.
say too.
Also, what did we do with?
What?
There might be an episode we didn't cover. I need to figure out what to do with that. But anyway, never mind. I just noticed it.
But with that, getting close to the end of Rings of Power, I think we're probably going to reiterate this for the next couple episodes, just to make sure anybody listening hears it. Once we finish Rings of Power, when that final episode airs, we will be getting into the release of the Darth Maul show, the animated Darth Maul show. And so I think we're still kind of finalizing how we're going to cover that, but I think the current plan is continue on our normal upload schedule and then have an extra episode posted each week for the coverage of that Maul show. That way we can cover it nice and fresh when it comes out.
Yeah, the way that we had talked about doing it. So it publishes on Monday, right?
Yes.
I think it releases on Mondays. We usually record on Tuesday. So the ideal is watch it Monday, record Tuesday, publish Wednesday.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, continuing our quote-unquote Monday upload for the Clone Wars and stuff like we're still doing, and alternating, with if we're still doing Rings of Power, whatever we're doing.
Yeah, Rings of Power until it's done, which
it's just an additional episode per week.
Episodes left. And then we will get into kind of a testing phase for the every other week. I think we're planning on starting, once we finish Rings of Power, we plan on starting I'm trying to think how to phrase it. The Monday that would typically be a Lord of the Rings upload.
Yeah.
Will, instead of covering a show or a part of a movie, I think we're going to start with a tier list for a few characters. I think we got to finalize what group we're going to do our tier list on, but we're going to kind of go out into kind of that vein, still sticking with Lord of the Rings and Star Wars. That way we can still get some coverage there, but kind of branch out and try some new things and see if you guys like that.
Yeah. So, anyway.
Well, with that, we will see you guys next time on our coverage of Rings of Power. Tulu.
Bye.
Deuces.